when there's a Marxist overthrow of a government, that's what they do. It's bread and circuses. It goes back to Rome. And look at everybody's working 2 jobs, or raising children and cooking and doing the things you do every day to take care and to go on. And where can you find any truth? You have to bits and piece it off your favorite. If you don't, you got to watch your favorite source. You don't have time to search it. I mean, you just turn on the TV and watch CNN. So it's all an operation to keep you ignorant and distracted.
Well, this was a Bolshevik revolution.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
But people need to know what that is in order to see it.
What is it?
Well, it's subversion. There was the Leninist revolution, and then what Mao adds is the idea that you're subverting every level of society at once. Mao makes it sort of a color popular revolution rather than just a team of people buried within the government. It's an inside-out strategy. You have people in the government sympathetic to the people who want to overthrow the government.
Want me to open the window?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's coughing.
Yeah, people in the government. And should I wait till he opens?
No, go ahead.
In the government, who working with the people outside who want to overthrow, and that happened. That happened in 2020. Have you heard names like Lisa Fithian? Is that name? There are calls that were recorded where all kinds of these Antifa types and leaders and other protesters in the very well-organized resistance were meeting in Zoom calls with federal officials plotting, and if they do this, and if Trump does this, then we're going to do this. And they were plotting a color revolution. These were like State Department people.
No, I know. And why has nothing been done about that?
She's now organizing a whole bunch of these Palestinian protests, by the way.
No, I know. They just changed their costumes from BLM to Antifa to pro-Palestinian. But the fact is that they let a lot of members of ISIS cross our border, along with the crazy people from murderous gangs that like to rape little children.
Yep.
It was a well thought out, all out war on working class America.
And Americans don't have the concepts that let them even see this war. It's war. It's World War III, what we're in. But because there's no tanks, they don't see the war.
Right.
Absolutely. The rapist murderers was your ticket. They emptied the jails in Venezuela and in Pakistan. If you're a rapist murderer, you got a ticket to Panama. You got infiltrated into this chain and brought into the U.S. They've got 20,000 Tren de Aragua, which is a prison gang from a prison in Iraq, the toughest prison.
They asked for volunteers if you had raped or murdered children.
Yeah.
You were included. I mean, how's that for China sending troops in here?
You want to know something crazy? Last week, the president of Venezuela, it was either the president or it was this guy who was the brainiac. There's a Hannibal Lecter psychiatrist that is really the brain in the Venezuelan mafia government. But one of them was on television. I think maybe it was the President Maduro. I forget. I'll send you the clip after.
Okay.
And he says, "Hey, don't get mad at me, America, for sending you these 20,000, people. Biden told me to send them. Check with the FBI office in Colombia and the FBI office in Panama. They told us that Biden wanted them. We have recorded it. Biden told us to send these terrible people to you."
Wow.
Well, Biden means Obama. I mean, Obama is I'll get totally in trouble. I'll get totally in trouble for this, but it needs to be said because Americans are so bamboozled and hoodwinked, in the words of Malcolm X, by these
leftists,
undercover communists that pretend they're religious people, or they are in cahoots with religious people, or they claim to be religious people, whatever, but they're communists, hardcore murderers. And
some people would light the world on fire just to see the world burn.
Yeah.
They're so bitter. They don't have any sense of being able to contribute or feeling like they should have an obligation to contribute and help build. And instead, they just think it's some kind of achievement to burn things
Well,
down.
I think it's a labor issue because I know they're being paid
Yeah.
and there's no jobs in their country. So what are you going to do?
And Soros is paying for that. But
Yeah.
guess what? We've also discovered the Venezuelan mafia is funding Soros.
Wow.
So Soros
that's
is a whole bunch
perfect.
of the money he's giving away is actually the Venezuelan mafia. The Venezuelan mafia, which is the Venezuelan government, the cartel of the Suns, is they've used, they're the presidents. Like I say, they're the Mexican cartels. They have so many billions from what they control, human trafficking and drugs and everything else.
Organs.
They've been funding. Say again.
Organs.
They've been funding through Soros this subversion of our country. The people Soros is funding, some of that money is actually coming from Venezuela.
And he does that because once
According
it
to-
crashes, he's going to buy it back up for an investment.
He doesn't
right?
even care. He's
Doesn't
Yeah, I don't
the
think he
devil.
cares
I
either.
used to think that it was like financial, and that's
Yeah.
kind of no.
Just
These are
destroying.
people who just want to destroy the world. They want to destroy the world. They live in some kind of place off in New Zealand as the world crashes, and then they come back. There's basically a business model now that says 5 to 10% of the world's population can escape with all the technology and learnings of thousands of years of civilization and no longer need the other 95%
Right.
of us. And what they need to do to achieve that, they're at the point. 2020 is basically the point that is the inflection point that AI and robotics are at the point that they can do that. The GDP doesn't even have to really drop. I mean, it's kind of funny. These 5 to 10% can escape over the years ahead in a few with all of that. But to achieve that, they need to create an authoritarian structure that can hold the people down as they get starved off and died out and culled. And that's basically the Hunger Games solution
Yeah.
for them. So they have to, what they've
Well,
been trying
communism is the Hunger Games, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
they starve people to death
yeah,
by the millions.
Ukraine.
Mhm.
You're not supposed to bring that up. For some reason, that's not.
Yeah.
The Bolsheviks. I hate the Bolsheviks. I hate the communists. I really do. My favorite line in any movie is that line from Scarface, Tony Montana, Al Pacino.
Yeah, what did he say? I don't
When he's
remember.
when he's still in the camp for the Mariel boat lift people, and somebody comes to him and says, "Listen, you can get out of here. You can get a green card. You get a job at somebody's diner up in Miami, and $3,000. You just have to kill somebody." And he says, "Okay, who do I got to kill?" And they say it's this guy who's actually a communist. He was with Fidel. He cheated Fidel on something, got thrown in jail for 2 years, and now he's been in the Mariel boat lift. And Al Pacino says, "No, man, you tell him that I'll take the green card, I'll take the job, but no one's going to pay me to kill a communist. No one pays me to kill a communist. The communist I kill for free, man."
So you see, my patience is growing thin.